live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Connections 50 Plus family, Facebook land, YouTube, Gaels throughout the Caribbean. Really happy to have you here. It is Wednesday, the 4th of November. And all of you who are happy with the US election results, yay! Those of you who are not happy, oh dear. But life goes on. That is how democracy works. And as usual, I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph. They are the co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. Welcome again to meeting with us this evening and chatting with us. And as you see, we have a guest which we will introduce to you in a while.
We building a reputation, Jennifer, of having these interesting people, hanging out with us at the bottom. And but Jen, we think of all the things that have happened. Yes, the US elections have come and gone and they will continue for a while, but we live in Trinidad. And our big news is, boy oh boy, patriotic. There is, the way I see it, Jen, it's not about patriotic or the getting the sale or not getting the sale. It just brings home to me the entire Petrochin situation, the importance of 50 plus people being prepared for the third act.
Definitely.
Those who work there, retrenchment. The OWTU as an organization is seeing its core they've lost Petrochin, retrenchment all over.
Yes.
It just tells me there's so many lessons for us to be prepared for the uncertainties of life.
I totally agree with you, Terri-Ann. I looked at it in that in planning, we should look at all aspects. And there should be a contingency, So you look at both sides. Of course, you go in and everything else, you're going in with a positive head. Because if it is negotiation, you want it to go positive. But you should also look at what happens if not.
You want it?
If things don't go out our way, what can we do? Or what should we put in place, to buffer that whatever the results would be. And in this case, result being a negative one was the next step. But how I look at it is that definitely will have effect on the people.
And Jennifer, the thing about it is, it's not only effect, we have to focus now. It's one kind of effect seriously. The people who are retrenched have their income cut. You have to figure out on severance. OWTU as an organization has to figure out, well, this is an organization. And also, they would have spent millions in preparing for this.
Definitely.
So it comes back to us and money. Our relationship with money, how we provide for and how we care. Jennifer, that is up your alley.
Definitely.
So, and let you segue into the rest of the show and bring in this beautiful lady that we have sitting at the bottom of the show.
And for today's topic, we are going to be chatting on the financial moves in the third act stage. And that is because, Terri-Ann, we chatted last week with Dr. Opadehi and he brought home some points and I thought, you know what? It is really what is happening to our 50 plus cohorts. What's happening in terms of their financial planning, their mindset. And I have invited, we invited our guest, who is Carol Tarradath. And Carol recently, I'll say recently, but Carol will tell us how long ago, retired, left the corporate world, and is now, she's out there like many of you all. And, Carol, I want you to just share with us, tell our guests a little bit about yourself and how long you actually retired.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carol Tarradath, as Jennifer said. Nice to be here with you ladies this afternoon and to the general public. I have retired now 5 years.
Oh, yes.
At one time, there was some fear in preparing for it. And then when it did happen, it's the best thing ever. Okay. And so in the preparation for it is when I had some sessions with Jennifer in terms of what am I going to do? What is outside there for me? Where can I go? What can I do? And I had this idea of doing a bed and breakfast. We spoke about it. I had all my goals, my desires, my wish list, my dream board, my everything and all of that. And yes, it happened. So I'm in it, but not in it, because as I came on to the retirement, I had to come and stay with my mom. So for the last 7 years, basically, I am now living with her. I'm her primary caregiver because she has, she's 90 years old, spunky, but she has Alzheimer's. So that I had to shift my plan.
To that. But Carol, I want to go back a bit and, talk about that fear most people have, before retirement, in terms of whether their money can stretch throughout, or what to do if those who get a lump sum, what should they do, whether they should hold on to it and hope that it will stretch for the rest of the years, or invest, or what. What was your thought? Did you have that fear in terms of what would you do where money is concerned?
Yes, I had that fear. Yes, would the money be enough? Did I make the right investments earlier on in my working life to prepare for that time eventually? I also wanted to travel. Traveling isn't cheap, and the places I wanted to go cost money. So again, I started reading. I started doing some workshops and getting some guidance as to exactly where to put money, what to do when you do get money, and what to do when you get money, and would it be enough, and how can I make more? Do I continue being active in my field? I was a food technologist at Kariri, and that was one of my plans, along with the bed and breakfast, to get into continued product development, to make products alongside the things. I was doing a little bit of gardening, so everything that I make would have been coming from my yard, so it's fresh and all that. Yeah. As I said, the fear is there, but you tell yourself you have to do it. You have to go brave. Once you make and think and talk and share those plans and those fears, you will actually see it come into reality. And I think in one of these sessions I did with you, Jennifer, helped me see where I could go.
Okay.
I wanted to go, but where I could go, and in time expansion. And with the children finishing their studies and so, how can I maneuver myself in between, hopefully the grandparent coming in? Well, then as I said, I have mommy to see about. But a lot of things you had to sit down and put on paper and see it, and putting on paper allowed me to see and redirect my focus and redirect myself as to what I wanted to do and when I wanted to do it. So it took a lot, but it was something that had to be done. You have to do it. You have to get over that fear. You have to get over that fear.
Terri-Ann, what did I remind you of when Carol spoke about, wanting to go on vacation and have these great plans for vacation and all the great plans? And why I'm asking Terri-Ann that, listen to me, Carol, that Terri-Ann knows, and Terri-Ann will share that dream of everyone.
The only problem with that dream is it's not a retirement dream, that's a dream to live when you're working.
Quite true. But fortunately for me, I had put aside a sort of holiday fund.
Nice, good.
My first trip after retiring, I went to Hawaii.
Nice.
And so I said, okay, I'll go far away first and then come back. So I have done it because I did plan for it.
You planned for it.
Yes, I planned for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sure.
Because, Carol, what I found, mindset, as you know, is very important. And from what you said, you plan that vacation. You didn't just think, well, okay, this lump sum of money I will get from after retire, I will use that and go on and travel.
No. Put aside money for that, so that when that was spent, it was spent, and I enjoyed spending it because I enjoyed putting aside for it. So the monies that came after had other little places to go as well. So there was a lot of planning and strategy going on in the scheme of things. There was a lot of planning. Mm-hmm. I may not have won all the time with my planning and my direction, but I planned, I planned.
But Carol, there's one thing that, as you say your story, you had a wonderful plan, and as happens to all plans, you get blindsided. You had your plan to run your bread and breakfast, and now you have the responsibility of care for your mom, which has put that on hold. How have you adjusted your plans, and does that put you in a financial bind? And what's the approach? We're not meaning to be too intrusive.
No.
Nice.
So again, because I had put some things down on paper, and luckily for me, my children observed and a part of what was going on with their granny. I have to say thank you to them that they allowed me to really live out some of those plans. Because ever so often, Mom, you need a break. You need a little 10 days. You need a break. So I didn't have them factored in that way, but they came in, and the support that I get from them has made it really, really, really possible for a lot of things to happen. The traveling, because after Hawaii, the next year I went to France.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
I was home. For I think a couple of months after. Then my eldest son blessed me with a granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
They live out in Florida. So if it wasn't for COVID, you might not have been speaking to me today. So we missed, she was one earlier on this year, so we missed that. We would have, we had plans to be back and forth. Like last year I was out of the country maybe about 6 times.
Okay.
But the children realizes that I need that break ever so often. It doesn't have to be for long, but I need that break ever so often to just go out and come back and reconnect, So that the plans didn't go all the way I would have liked, but it's workable. It's workable. It's workable.
I want to give a pitch to Jennifer and her coaching here. Because very often, and I know we're talking about finance today, but this gives such a clear example. So many of us, because of duty, we abandon ourselves in service of, and do not give ourselves permission to take a break and recharge. Now you had your family, your children stepping into the void for you.
Yes, yes.
Therefore, it allows you to maintain a beautiful grace and so on. But you know, I want to, and I think Jennifer, you could also comment on this, and Carol, you too. People who don't have that, they feel so guilty to bring in hired help or third-party professionals.
No.
For this, so that you continue taking care of yourself and take that break. Take that break. You know, what do you think of that, Carol?
Yes, you have anyone who asks me how I did how I'm doing what I'm doing. Yes, through the grace of God, and also I get a time to recharge, because you need it. You need it, and I can't stress that enough. If I didn't have my children here with me, I don't know how I would have made it. I think I would have possibly had some of it, but not as much as I do have, to the point where I still go and exercise. Now, if we didn't have this afternoon, I would have gone yoga class. Barring COVID, I was on my aqua aerobics. I do get my days off where I could just go and sit somewhere and have tea, or just go and enjoy nature. But again, I have learned over the years to make time for myself. I have learned that over the years, to make time. And a lot of us, a lot of women don't do that. I learned the hard way though, because I was there too. The children. And the one day I realized, hey, when these children leave here, or they are young adults, they are liming, they are out. Where am I? Who am I? And I had to look at myself and literally ask, so what are you going to be doing after they have gone? Who do you want to be? Where, you know, I wrote down again from the sessions, wrote down all questions to ask myself that. And I stood up in the mirror and asked myself, hey girl, you got to plan a life, because these children are going on their own. They will be on their own. What do you want to do? Where would you be?
And Carol, that comes back, and congratulations to you on that decisions. But that comes back to people understanding, especially when you're in the third act, about letting go.
Yes.
And when we speak about letting go, there's so many aspects of letting go. And you did that well. I mean, you planned a lot in terms of your financial planning, and you know what you wanted, and you set up your business. And I have been fortunate when you started, because we were in that during sessions with me at the time, to actually come home and visit what you did. Which was, fantastic. You did a fantastic renovation with the home. I mean, Carol Tarradath taste is just, beautiful. The colors, everything well set up, you know. And that decision, of letting go that beautiful home setup where you actually there in person to run your bed and breakfast, to move in so nicely with your mom and really still enjoy that freedom, and you let go that aspect. You can always go back to it, and again you have the support of your children to keep it going for you, but without that regret or feeling that look what you were just retired and you can't enjoy what you planned. Your enjoyment is being able to support you with your mom.
Oh yes.
And, getting to do the things you love to do, and that is as a result of letting go.
Letting go, important.
That to me is very important for us at this stage, and because you had planned in terms of your finances, you knew where that money, you allocated that money for the bed and breakfast. It did not affect you after. in terms of wanting to do other things.
To do other things.
Because of how you allocated that money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very important also for people to understand in the planning. You can't just say, okay, I'm going on vacation or I want to go on vacation, and you don't know, and your money, you feel that lump sum you are getting could send you on vacation, could build a business, could do all that, you know. And speaking about money, Carol, you also mentioned, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you had your trial set at university after you retired?
No, the last one finished the year of my retirement. So
okay.
Planned. Again, it was basically planned that, final year is her final. She was the last, and that was her final as well too.
So it just worked out.
Everything just worked out. Everything worked out. Mm-hmm.
In terms of your situation right now, what would you say? Do you think that in your financial situation, you are able from that planning before to handle your situation right now?
Yes, it has helped. But again, a lot of little things came in the way because I also did with the renovation. I also had to dip into some of that same lump sum to up some things. So it is a bit off target, but diligently, I gave myself a 7-year period after retirement to pull things back. Because when I realized, okay, I have finances, I could do X, Y, Z. So I could draw a bit here and think, but year 5, which is now, 2020 came and did plenty things here, you know. So this was my savings year. This was my putting back here into. Because of COVID, I was able to do some of it, not as much as I would have liked, because I had people lined up to come in to stay at the rooms. That didn't happen as it was planned. So things got, but I was still able to put monies back in.
Yeah.
Not the quantum, but I have started. I said, no. 2020, let me see what good I could make out of it. Let me see what I could get out of it to say, yes, it wasn't always, it wasn't so bad at all. So it has, I'm trotting along. I'm not going to be defeated with it. I'm not even, I'm not going to go down and say, wow, it has been. No, I am doing the best that I can do at this point in time with what I have.
Terri-Ann, Carol mentioned at 7 years. She gave herself 7 years. Carol, Terri-Ann that is her mantra for when you get into business. Right, Terri-Ann?
It takes at least 2 years of digging the hole to put the foundation in it. Then you put the foundation in the third year or so, and then in the next years you begin, and it is really at year 5 and year 6 after all of that you start to get the kind of return. And what I have to admire too with you, and it speaks to the mindset that so many of us believe that because of COVID, we let go all disciplines and save. You have a plan. I am building back in 2020, and even though the revenue streams are not as you expected, you are still doing it, which is the entrepreneurial mindset. That is the disciplined financial mindset, which will. And then we look at you, and you are so calm. You are so easy.
To be. You have to be. You cannot, because in the beginning with the COVID, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was like, okay. But when I looked around, I did not have a problem in terms of mom wasn't given a problem. The children weren't given a problem. My son abroad. And I just said, okay, one day at a time. I have control of this, and this is what I'm going to control. And after that, I just leave the rest.
Yep.
I just leave the rest. There's nothing that I could have done other than what I did. My mornings or my evenings, because of technology, I get to see my granddaughter. I either have breakfast with her in the morning,
Yeah.
I'm in the evening. So I am enjoying 2020 as best as I can with everything that is around. You know, I am into gardening. I forgot to tell you that, Jennifer. I'm into gardening. Just last week, I changed up the whole garden and going to replant, and then I'm into a lot of vegetables and the pak choy and the tomatoes, the celery, the kale. Yeah, so I'm providing food, fresh food for the family. Best I can. Yeah. So I have made myself, I kept myself active. I've kept myself busy. There are the times when there are the down times, of course. The down come sometimes and you could just go all over the place. And then you go back and say, but this is what I have. This is what I don't have, but this is what I have. So I deal with what I have and work with what I have for the moment and just enjoy every day.
Carol, at any time you felt, especially in the early stages, that you may be too old to get involved in any activity or too old to even start when you started the business? Did you see age as a barrier at all?
Yes, because I was like, even to get some of the finances to help do the renovations, it was needed to get this and I had to get this and I had to prove this and I had to prove that. And, you know, and it was like, I mean, what again do you all want? You know, you work so hard, you're given, you know, I had to do a little plan and a little business plan, and this is how I want to recover, and this is what I want to do. You know, and of course there will be people who will be telling you, yeah, you should be just knocking about and liming and doing this and we're going with your whole self to do this and all of that and thing. But I needed to keep busy, and I think I still needed to do things for myself, because I did things for children, for my corporate life and everything. So what am I doing for Carol? And it all comes back down to what you want to do for yourself and where do you see yourself. Because at that point in time, as I told you, the children would have been out partying, liming, they're gone and they have their own families, whatever it is, and you're left alone.
Yeah.
You're left alone. So therefore you have to prepare yourself for yourself.
Yes.
Prepare yourself for yourself. Because
I like that one. That's so true.
Yes. You know, and
people don't recognize themselves. Because outside of work, and I want to ask you that question. So, Carol Tarradath, the food technologist, parent, and so on. So when it finally dawned on you that all those personas don't exist anymore, who was this person? Was it difficult for you to recreate somebody?
No, I stood up. No, that day was a scary day. That day was a scary day when I realized that my daughter was off. And she is gone. She's the last, and she's going away abroad to study. Yes, I have one son here, but he's a young man and he has a life to live. When I come home in an afternoon or an evening time, who am I coming home to? Carol. Who opens the door? Carol. Who has to get you a cup of tea? Carol. Who has to warm up the food? Carol. So, Carol, find out, what do you want to do when you come home? Where do you want to go? What are the things you like? Because, you know, you give up so much of your social life for children and family, whoever, that the things that you like, you have to, it's kind of like learning yourself all over again. And that is what I had. Learn who I was all over again and to do the things that I wanted to do. If I didn't feel like doing anything when the day comes, I do nothing. And I don't feel guilty about it. When you had children, you couldn't do that. you felt guilty, you felt that you had to be on the go, you had to do this, you had to fix this, you had to be the engine room to everything. Now I'm my own engine room, my own engine room, and loving it.
Great. Carol, you said something, and because we're discussing also about financial moves, you mentioned that at the initial stages, even to get a loan, they've been difficult. And I want, our listeners, especially those early 50s, have not yet reached that age, 60, or reached that retirement age, to listen to that. Because it's advisable not to, that the planning has to start from at least give yourself a 10-year before you start planning.
Yep.
Because that is so important, because at that early stage, at 50, your earning capacity is so much more. What you should look at, if you have your plans, you have to start thinking if you will need a loan for down the road, what sort of money. So it's so important to plan what you're going to do, and understand, for instance, in your situation where you plan, okay, I would like to renovate my home and do a bed and breakfast. A decision like that, to someone age 50 thinking what they will do at 60, they have to look at their financial situation then, what it is, whether they would be able to qualify for a loan at that stage, or should they take the loan from earlier, and all these decisions, the financial decisions, should really be made long before you reach that stage. So when you get to that retirement stage, you would know. Other issue, not an issue, but situation that comes up a lot when Terri-Ann and I doing the financial coaching aspect, and Terri-Ann comes in a lot for those who want to start business, is that when we ask a very simple question, do you know what your retirement fund would be like? Do you know what if you are going to get a lump sum, what it's based on? Would you believe, Carol, that many of the participants
don't know? They don't know. And I come in, as you mentioned, that even though I think I started still a little too late. Because it was an idea, and I started to pursue it. I started to get information. I came to a couple of your sessions and stuff, to get it. But I had to find out in the midst of all of that, me.
Yeah.
So it took some time to get that, because you want to leave all the baggage now. You're dropping off stuff. You're just giving back the nonsense that you pick up along the way. So that even though at 50 is still a little bit too late, depending on what you're planning to do. Yes, and where you're going to go to get this money, because they want to find out this, and they want to attach this person to it.
Yes.
And I didn't want that. This was me doing this, and I didn't want any attachment, because I still had a second job. So my second job now was really paying off for the loan and all of that. And in between that, there was some hiccups with the second job. So the monies weren't coming as expected.
Yeah.
So I had to go into some savings in order to pull me out at times to get it. So even it is something, and I remembered even at my 30s, 30, 35, I remember trying to encourage one or two young people at work to find out about the pension plan and get into committees like that at your job about your pension and things like that. So you will have an idea, because as you say, if you don't know and you get to ask at that point in time, and it's not what you're expected, it puts you in it sends you, spiraling down into depression that
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So even though I moved, I think early, it still was not early enough. So I'm at my best where my children are concerned, and family or friends or anybody, let them know, hey, put this aside, $10, $20, no matter how small it is, it fills the bucket. Because your expectations of life at this point in time, much higher than it was when you were, you know, as a family person and seeing about children and whatnot and stuff. Because this now you're doing for self, and you want to give yourself the best.
Yes.
Yeah, you give yourself the best. You want to be able to go and afford to buy what you want and not say, okay, I can't. Yes, you can eventually, but no, we have to start earlier. We have to start.
That's definitely, and it is so, you know, and we are speaking, Carol, in some stages, they just have one here, Terri-Ann, sometimes.
The thing about it is that is to, you have to start earlier, and the fact of the matter is that most of us don't.
They don't.
And even when we start earlier, because we're so happy living, we don't do enough. So
Yes,
at
yes.
the end of the day, you still have to be at a point where, okay, I am 5 years to retirement, I am at retirement, or I've retired for 3 years, and I
Yes.
had a lot of money and I spent it badly in the 3 years, and here
Yes.
I am. And it seems, you know, there are two things that you said. You said one, you have to know how much you are due to receive. You must
Yes.
know what is your NIS, what is your pension,
Yes.
what you have a unit trust. Yeah, write it down somewhere.
Yes, you have to. You have to.
But most critically, the other part of the equation that we find is that people have dreams and plans. The travel is one thing.
Yes.
They have no clue what is
Living, day-to-day living.
Yes.
because the plans. So I'm going to start a business. I'm going to learn some new trade. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You want to be a designer. You don't even know how much for industrial sewing machine or a surgeon. The next thing is the skills. You know, do you have what it takes to run that business? You had dreams of being a bed and breakfast manager. You established your bed and breakfast. What was it that attracted you to wanting to do a bed and breakfast? And what made you think you, Carol, could succeed in that?
Over the years, I have quite a few friends who kept on, who are living abroad now and come for carnival or come for any time, and they come home. And I did my survey, and I did ask around, you know, what it is about it. They just liked the home, the warmth. It was homely. There was nothing extravagant or, you know, that thing. But for me, this is how I wanted to live, and I shared that kind of living with them, and they liked that. And in my job, I also met a lot of people whenever they came for training, always wanted somewhere to stay, and always wanted somewhere to stay that was homely rather than a hotel or a place, a room a night, you know. And so it came from there. And then one day I got up about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, what are you going to do, girl? What are you going to do? And somebody sent me an email from this small tourism
Accommodation.
Of Stuart. So I think that is what it is. But anyway, somebody sent me something, and they were talking about, and they had this seminar about bed and breakfast, and I said, but 2 or 3 days after, or the last day, I decided to sign up. No harm, go and see what it's all about. I went. It was interesting. I followed up on it, and then I started to look at my home and see where and how. I said, okay, these children may not be coming back here to live. What am I going to be doing in this house here by myself? I didn't use the garage. I had a large TV room. So I just started to measure, run it by my children, my brother and my sister, cousins and stuff and things like that. Why not? Go for it. Then I started again, put down on paper, where am I getting the money from? I had to go to Papa God for that one. Some direction. And it was seemingly at first hard that it wasn't going to happen, because I saw 2 years coming up, and then my last 3 years to go, and nothing yet was happening. And I was like, if this thing is to happen, it has to happen now. And a friend just told me, oh, you didn't get through there? Try this place. And I just went, and in less than 3-4 months, everything just came through. And I just said, thank you. This was the time. I found a person who understood where I wanted and what I wanted to do. And that's where it all went. That's where it all went, you know. It was a learning, it was a lesson. It was a lesson in finding out the new me, finding out. And many a times I was like, why are you getting into this? What are you doing this for? Who is going to be helping you? The children are not going to be around. Everybody is getting older. When you have to be home to be seen about this, and there it is. I am not there now. So just as Jennifer said earlier on, I had to just step back and really leave it up. And I just had to be here for 7 years now. I'm here with my mother, you know. But it still happened. I thank God for when it happens. I had 5 persons for Carnival this year. They had a good time. And that is the thing. So I want them to have a good experience. So I go on to make sure that they have a good experience. And the first set of people who have come, even before I had really started, they came and they were repeaters for 4 years straight. So this was my first year having new people. You know? But then COVID came.
It's okay.
COVID came, and it's okay. And it's okay because I'm getting also a chance to do other little things in the property, because again, my plan, every year I'm going to be doing something, because everything that wasn't finished at the beginning. So every year I'm doing a little bit more and a little bit more. So hopefully by my 7 years, I would be comfortable and, you know, and I could rock back. Right now I can't rock back.
Yeah.
For it, because one of the things that you that I think will sort of underscore your success is that you are enjoying the journey.
Yes, I am.
And over the destination.
I am. And I am learning so much along the way. Because this year, even though COVID came, was my year to find out a lot more of Trinidad and go visiting places. And in the midst of the COVID, I have been doing that. You know, last week, my cousin took me to Miaro. So we went to by the place, the Dove's bakery, where they have the
mother of them. Nice.
Yes, it was a lovely experience, and you know, you drive around and you get to see your country. So this was my plan for this year, and you know, again, COVID came, but I'm still getting to experience some of it, you know.
But you know, one question I want to say, because at the end of the day, and Jennifer always says this, money is important. It is very, very important. Here you are with a business plan that's interrupted. You have commitments that have come upon you. So it's not as it would have been, you would have expected it, and we in COVID.
Yes.
But here you are, continuing along the plan, continuing to do the things to build your business that you would have anticipated doing in a period of reduced financial flows. So, you know, Jennifer always says you don't need money to plan, and for a lot of things, money may not be the central issue. How are you managing to continue in this period of reduced funds? Because as I said, Jennifer always says, you need to understand money and know what to do with money. But whatever money you have, make do with it. What is your story?
Again, okay, I purchase the things that I need to purchase and put in the freezer, or where food is concerned. As I said, I have the little garden. I mean, I purchase or just use what I have when I have and only spend when I need to spend and not to go shopping. There's no shopping to do. You just go and get the things that you need, and you use things in a way, well, there's a tomorrow. So it doesn't have to finish all today.
Yeah.
And the other day I found myself in a little bit, the freezer went down, the washing machine went down. I needed to get a battery for my vehicle. I had to pay house insurance and insurance. And it was like back to back, back to back. But then I said, okay, these things have to be paid and they will be paid. So as the day came by for it to happen, I went, I found, I submitted, I paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I am just dealing it one day at a time. Christmas is now coming. I love Christmas, but
I can relate.
Yes, I have decided I could shop in Carol's space.
Carol's fridge.
Yes, I could shop in Carol's space and find the things that I need to make Christmas happy for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to go out there and buy a new cushion or that the bathroom mat must match with the shower curtain.
No.
Hell no. No. I'm watching the kitchen curtains and I'm saying, another year for you.
A little bit of detergent and some.
Yes. You know, another year for you. Oh, what I could possibly dye it a different color. But I have learned to really live within the means and work with what I have and enjoy everything that came from it, because it was done in a way that did not stress me out.
Well, in the first place.
Yes, in the first place, yeah. But you send it, okay, you just use what you have. Just use what you have. Because now, simple thing, the teas, I like tea, and I would buy the Lipton tea, and I found now, what is in those tea bags? I don't know. I have a bay leaf tree. I have boba leaf tree, orange peel, and the things mommy like. So the glass that I had earlier on when I was taking it is the bay leaf water, cold because I drink a lot of water. The bay leaf water that I'm drinking. Sometimes when you put a lot of bay leaf and it comes as a beautiful red, rich ruby red, as though it's a nice glass of wine. I drink that. That's mine.
Carol, you are a fantastic example of learning for people to learn to adjust and all that with the money. You hear talk because recently, when the budget was read and the Minister of Finance spoke about, foreign items in some cases that will go up, and he mentioned, this is the Christmas time, so he did mention the apples and the grapes and certain other items that normally we'll consider luxury items. Not that they're not bringing it in again, but it would be at a higher cost. And, so you hear the feedback with some people that, they find that ridiculous, etc. But what we have to learn, many of us, is that we have to live within our means. Those who can afford it, nothing is wrong with that.
Go ahead and buy
it. If it is impacting on your budget and on your spending, then look for other ways. For instance, and you mentioned it in your grocery. And actually, when you do those things, it is much cheaper and healthier for you to drink those teas than, as you said, we're not sure what is in it.
It's cheaper and more healthy. It's more enjoyable.
Yes, but it's again, we go back, Terri-Ann, to the mindset.
The mindset and the taste and
of course. And we're at a different stage in life.
In our life, yes. Where we don't need all the, simple. Sorrel is something I loved, but sorrel and I just don't agree. So I drink no sorrel. I will remember what it tasted like, but I'm not going to put myself. Right now, bread is the thing. I was eating bread and I was getting pain. I stopped eating bread, there is no pain. So
you understand?
no bread.
So you need
the other
to
day
know,
and
you have to know your
Yes.
body. Yeah.
You have to know. As I was eating the other day and I was in pain last week, well, okay, that's it. I don't need to go there again. Don't need to go back there again.
But did you also always you saw yourself as someone that spends a lot, or you would consider yourself someone that will save normally?
A bit of both. I could spend because out of stress. Yeah, I could spend. Stress. Yeah,
Your habit. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have seen myself in the earlier years doing it. You just to ease a mind and make you feel.
It's therapeutic and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it was fun, but then it wasn't fun after.
But you had an income to support it.
But you had, yes, at the time. But now where that income is less, it's limited and thing, you can still have that fun, but you must know, hey, do I need this right now? No, I don't need this right now. And I could watch it, enjoy it in my mind, and walk away and leave it.
Great.
Till the time is ready. I am ready for it. Right now it is all about me being ready. It's all about me allowing whomever into my space, the environment, what I want to hear, what I want to see, it's all about me. I have learned to love me.
Carol, I want to ask you a question, and this is something I also asked Jennifer. This is to me personally. And I suppose this is why I like what we do at Connections. Very often, as people, whether it is with older people or younger people, any discussion on preparation is so sacrificial and as punishment. So there was no incentive to prepare, and it was hard, and you have to get accustomed to hard and do it out. And I was like, well, there's no fun in this, so why bother? And I think that is why people had a mindset of to hell with it, I will deal with it when I get it.
When it happens, yeah.
What I am seeing with you, and which is the essence, is that you are having so much fun discovering this new you.
Yes, quite true.
Discovering. It's not a question of sacrifice and cut and stop. There is so much new that you are finding to replace. And oh, by the way, it is cheaper. By the way, it is cheaper for me. And at the bottom of it, you have met this new fantastic person, Carol, that everyone can find. And I think that is the essence of the third act stage.
Yes, it is. For me, yes.
Yes, it is not a barren place of sacrifice and
it's not a burden.
And
it's
stress.
not a burden. It's not a burden. And stress. Yes.
And yes, there's less money, but you through your gardening, through connecting and appreciating the things that you've collected throughout your life, you realize
lifetime. Yes.
shop home by you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Living room and shop for the dining room. Go
Yes.
in one bedroom and shop for the other bedroom.
For the other bedroom. Yes, but again, and then especially if you're taught, you see something good, you spend the money on it, so you.
Yes.
Because I don't need to buy a shower curtain and mats to mat the bathroom every year, or curtains in the house every year. I could swing around what is in the living room this time and put it in the bedroom next time, and it will be totally different. It is mine.
And let me give a hint. You see that bathroom story? I remember I used to do a lot of business travel, and you're looking around, and I always looking at other people's business and looking to see what you're doing in your business. And I take a look at the hotel's bathrooms. They always have a curtain that is washable.
Yes.
And what is on the floor is a towel. It's a towel.
Yes.
Why did they put a towel on the floor? All right, it's tile. It's being cleaned every day. Coming out of the bathroom clean.
Yeah.
Why need mats?
A mat where the backings messing up your washing machine when you.
it is a clean environment and you're going to wash it. You're going to wash it. So sometimes the things that we feel we must have. When you look at it in another environment, you look at how people use it and say, well, what it is, yeah.
No, you really have it. But it's a discipline, I think.
That it is. It definitely is a discipline
in your life that you could sit back and look and make that sort of assessment. It really is a discipline because everybody can do it. And I didn't get here by just, trial and error. Trial and error. You make mistakes, you come back, you try again, you do something, and then you realize, but wait, every day, you just have to take it one day at a time. Especially again, being here with my mother, that has showed me every day it's a different day. Yes. Every single day for her is a different day. I am here with her, so I have to go with how she is, the mood she's at. It's not about her getting into my world. I have to be now in her space to understand and to move with her and to make her comfortable, to give her the best quality of life that I could give her at this time of her life.
Without sacrificing yours.
Without sacrificing, without sacrificing. Even sometimes, the children would say, anything you want to do, come, we will, yes, they are there, but I still don't want to take away of their time and their entertainment and their life and their wanting to be young adults just going out and having a good time, you know. I don't want to take that away from them. I had mine, let them have their own, but I could have mine in a different way that is very pleasing to me. I could do that. I could do that, but it took some doing to get there so that I could say it and share it and feel comfortable saying it and not saying it, because I'm still working on myself and still trying to, this is where I want to go. I am there. I am there.
Congratulations.
Carol, what would you say to the 50 plus right now about, looking after their finances prior to actually leaving?
Before leaving?
Before going on to retirement.
Go to your HR, find out they may not be able to give you a final figure because it hinges on your final salary and all of that, but you can have a ballpark figure as to where you could be, where it might be, along with the NIS. And if you feel that you could supplement it, fine. If you feel that I could live within whatever it is, but you still have to do some planning. And if you have, I think age 45, you see, between 45 to 50, so at least by 50, you should have an idea what you would really like to do. In the midst of all the children who might be at university, who might be still whatever, you still have to start charting your course. So as I said, for me, I had my book and I wrote down the things that next 3 years, I think I started with 3 years, where would I be? Then 5, and as I say now, the 7, and then I'd possibly add another 2 on it and all of that. But I sat down and looked at what it. So planning is very, very important. Not only if you can, you should do it for yourself. Mm-hmm. You should do it for yourself. As women, you should start to see yourself as the queen, as the princess, as the one who is control of her being. If not, when everybody goes, they're going to start bringing the grandchildren, or somebody's going to start. But she's always home, so you could leave it by her.
Yeah,
no, I'm out. I'm out for the day. So at the earliest when I started, I used to just dress and go into town.
Yeah.
I'm going to shop. I am dressing and I'm going into town, or I would dress and go and sit down at Hilton and have a glass of drink by myself at the Hyatt. Just go and experience places that you never had to go when you were seeing about everybody. You know, I'm not a cinema fan, and I'm planning to go to the cinema for the longest while again, but I'm not a cinema person. But ever so often it comes up, you know, that's a nice show, I would like to go and see it. No, not really. I love to sit and listen to music and all of that. I will go to my jazz shows and so you find now I have planned what I want to do, where I want to go. So I'm trying to make it happen. It may not happen every month or as regular as I would possibly like it, but I do get a chance.
But it's happening.
But yes, I do get a chance to go out and have a good time. I do. And I say thanks to my children for that. Thanks for them, because they make it happen for me.
Great. And Carol, let me just say, and as a woman, really, very good, you know, advice. And you mentioned for the women, you must say too, well, you know, we also cater for our men. So they have to plan also.
They have to plan also.
And what we have done, as you may be aware, what we have done at Connections, you know, 50 plus, is to ensure with our programs, and our program recently launched, which is the 5.8G Essential Toolkit. It covers, you see that planning?
Yes.
We ensure with the assessments that people are more aware who they are.
Yes.
You know, he says we have the psychometric assessment to help people understand themselves, who they are.
Yep.
Then we have the financial assessment again, which deals with the finances to guide you. And we have the health and wellness. And you all, you know, you have covered all three when you spoke, Carol.
Yes.
The mindset, which is important. You made sure you got help with the financial coaching and the financial advice. And you took care of your health, which is you're still doing that with your yoga and, you know, exercise, etc.
Yes.
So we thought, I mean, looking at the situation, especially now, we thought, listen, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
For us to have these assessments, you know, they're all done by professionals, you get the reports, and from there too, they're also guided if they need further help in terms of coaching, if they're going into, you know, as entrepreneurs, etc. So, you know, it's very happy to hear you when you speak, covering all the aspects that we do.
But Jennifer, this has been a wonderful, complete talk. On and on and on. And now I have to say we have to really wrap up because...
Oh gosh, it's that time.
Yes.
It's that time.
No, but I think one of the thing that stands out for me with you, and this is, you just happen to be a woman as far as I'm concerned, because men who find themselves as a life change, whether it is without a spouse, children on their own, they have the same crisis. And sometimes we as women are not sensitive to that. And we think that the world is against women. It's not, it's against anyone over 50. But I think one of the things that I pulled from you is you were just not afraid to meet yourself.
No. I had to, because I could not go forward and do anything if I didn't know who I was.
Yep.
Carol, we see so many people who go forward, and because they're so afraid to meet the new self, they drag the old self with them. And they
No. I had to, because I think I got lost. And I didn't know. I didn't know the things that I had liked, because the children, let's say, you know, a typical thing as a parent, a mother, they didn't eat all the food. What you didn't want to waste it. So what you do? You add your food on their own, and
your makeup, yeah.
A couple of the younger ones who worked with me, and I always tell them, make time for yourself during that time. And I learned that from my sister. She said, make time for yourself, even though you have the children. They must know that you have to have quiet time as well. And I pinch myself every time I'm in this frenzy of making sure that everything is happening and stuff. And I said, oops, Carol, some
Time for you.
downtime. Yep.
Okay.
So just awareness, and it's a consciousness, and it's something that you have to work at every day, because it isn't easy. It isn't. I'm not making anybody feel that it's easy. You have to work at it and let it happen, because you're doing it. You're doing it for yourself.
But it's rewarding. Good.
It's rewarding. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Jennifer, this was great. Undersets everything.
Yes.
So, Carol, thank you. This was wonderful.
Carol, thanks again. I mean, you covered all that is needed to do. And yes, listeners, plan from early. Do not wait for the last 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, but we're still in our 50s and 60s, so it's late. But still go along, contact Jennifer and I will help you.
It's not too late, because we have, and that's why we created our programs.
The help is there.
To give help.
The help is there. The help is there. And I am glad that I came on board and got that help, because
I appreciate that, yes.
That help is what sent me up the ladder, because I would have been standing, holding the ladder and looking up and wondering, how am I getting up there?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
easier.
Thank you so much for thinking about me.
I thank you for
also
being our client. Yes.
Yeah.
And friend.
Friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All the best to you and to your mom.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Have a good evening and stay safe.
Yes, bye.
Stay safe. Okay.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from TNT and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback.
Bye for now.